All right, good morning. We got Artemis Fowl, Chapter 7, continuation. Foley was searching for a matching iris cam. Hazel, I think, or perhaps Tawny, you really do have stunning eyes, Mr. Mulch. Thank you, Foley. My mother always said that they were my most attractive feature. Root was pacing the shuttle floor. You two do realize we're on a deadline here, don't you? Never mind matching the collar. Just give him a camera. Fully plucked the lens from its solution with tweezers. This is not just vanity, Commander. The closer the match, the less interference from the actual eye. Whatever. Just get on with it. Fully grabbed Mulch's chin, holding him still. There you are. We're with you all the way. Fully twisted a tiny cylinder into the thick tufts of hair growing from Mulch's ear. Weird. Wired for sound now, too, in case you need to call for assistance. The dwarf smiled wryly. Forgive me for not swelling with confidence. I find I've always done better on my own. If you can call 17 convictions doing better, chuckled Root. Oh, we have time for jokes now, do we? Root grabbed him by the shoulder. You're right, we don't. Let's go. He dragged Mulch across the grassy verge to a cluster of cherry trees. I want you to tunnel in there and find out how this foul person knows so much about us. Probably some surveillance device. Whatever it is, destroy it. Find Captain Short if possible, and see what you can do for her. If she is dead, at least it will clear the way for a biobomb. Mulch squinted across the landscape. I don't like it. What don't you like? The lie of the land. I smell limestone, solid rock foundation. There might not be a way in. Root trotted across. I've done a scan. The original structure is based solely on rock, but some of the latter extensions stray onto clay. The wine cellar in the south wing appears to have a wooden floor. It should be no problem for someone with a mouth like yours. Mulch decided to take that as a statement of fact rather than an insult. He opened the back flap of his tunneling pants. Right, stand back. Root and the surrounding LEP officers rushed for cover, but Foley, who had never actually seen a dwarf tunneling, decided to stay for a peek. Good luck, Mulch. The dwarf unhinged his jaw. Ank hook, he mumbled, bending over for lunch. The centaur looked around. Where's everyone? He never finished because a blob of recently swallowed and even more recently recycled limestone whacked him in the face. By the time he had cleared his eyes, Mulch had disappeared down a vibrating hole, and there was the sound of hearty laughter shaking in cherry trees. Mulch followed a loomy vein through a volcanic fold in the rock. Nice consistency, not too many loose stones, plenty of insect life too, vital for strong, healthy teeth, a dwarf's most important attribute. The first thing a prospective mate looked at, Mulch went low to the limestone, his belly almost scraping the rock. The deeper the tunnel, the less chance of substance on the surface. You couldn't be too careful these days, not with motion sensors and landmines. Mud people went to extraordinary lengths to protect their valuables, with good reason. As it happened, Mulch felt a vibration cluster to his left. Rabbits. The dwarf fixed the location on his internal compass, always useful to know where the local wildlife hang out. He skirted the warren, following the manor foundation around in long northwesterly loop. Wine cellars were easy to locate. Over the centuries, residues seeped through the floor, infusing the land beneath with the wine's personality. This one was somber, nothing daring here. A touch of fruit, but not enough to lighten the flavor. Definitely an occasion wine on the bottom rack. Mulch burped. That was good clay. The dwarf aimed his scything jaw skywards, punching through the floorboards. He hauled himself through the jagged hole, shaking the last of the recycled mud from his pants. He was in a blessedly dark room, perfect for dwarf vision. His sonar had guided him to an uncovered spot in the floor. 3 feet to the left, and he would have emerged in a huge barrel of Italian red. Mulch rehinged his jaw, patted across the wall, flattened a conch-like ear to the red brickwork. For a moment, he was absolutely still, absorbing the house's vibration. A lot of low-frequency humming. There was a generator somewhere, and plenty of juice running through the wires. Footsteps, too, way up, maybe on the 3rd floor, and close by, a crashing sound, metal on concrete. There was again. Someone was building something, or breaking something down. Something skittered past his foot. Mulch squashed it instinctively. It was a spider, just a spider. "Sorry, little friend," he said to the gray smear. "I'm a bit on the jittery side." The steps were wooden, of course, more than a century old, too, by the smell of them. Steps like that creaked as soon as you looked at them. Better than any pressure pads for giving away intruders. Mulch climbed along the edges, 1 foot in front of the other. Right in by the wall was where the wood was most supported and was less likely to creak. This was not as simple as it sounds. Dwarf feet are designed for spade work, not for delicate intricacies of ballet, dancing, or balancing on wooden steps. Nonetheless, Mulch reached the door without incident. A couple of minor squeaks, but nothing that would be detectable by human ears or hardware. The door was locked naturally, but it may as well not have been for all the challenge it presented to a kleptomaniac dwarf. Mulch reached into his beard, plucking out a sturdy hair. Dwarf hair was radically different from the human variety. Mulch's beard and head hair were actually a matrix of antennae that helped him to navigate and avoid danger below ground. Once removed from its pore, the hair immediately stiffened its rapid rigor mortis. Mulch twisted the end in the seconds before it became completely rigid for a perfect pick. On a quick jiggle, and the lock yielded only 2 tumblers. Terrible security. Typical of humans, they never expect an attack from below. Mulch stepped onto a parquet corridor. The whole place smelled of money. He could make a fortune here, if only he had the time. There were cameras just below the architrave, tastefully done, nestled in the natural shadows, but vigilant nonetheless. Mulch stood for a moment calculating the system's blind spot. 3 cameras on the corridor, 90-second sweep, no way through. "You could ask for help," said a voice in his ear. "Fully." Mulch pointed his wired eyeball at the nearest camera. "Can you do anything about those?" he whispered. The dwarf heard the sound of a keyboard being manipulated, and suddenly his right eye zoomed like a lens camera. Handy, breathed Mulch. "I've got to get me one of these." Ruth's voice crackled through the tiny speaker. "No chance, convict. Government issue. Anyway, what would you do with one in person? Get a close-up of the other side of your cell?" I'm going to stop there. Love you guys.